Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, you want me to fly 12 hours earlier because it's cheaper? Want to lie about your natural hair color? Have fun with an awful dye job. Stop fixing the photo printers during Christmas rush? Sure. Why not? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. You want me to fly 12 hours earlier because it's cheaper? Disclaimer: English is my second language, but I've been speaking it since I was 5, so really should know better. I'm on a laptop, so any formatting errors are because I'm dumb. I, 56M in the UK, was working in Africa as an operations manager for a large global security company from 2009 to 2014. The country I was working in had been through a long civil war and was very underdeveloped, think no paved roads, people living a very traditional African lifestyle. At the time, I'd been working there on a 10 weeks in country, 2 weeks at home rotation for about 4 years. I'd flown to and from work so often that I had the journey down to the bare minimum travel time, and it worked out the cheapest option for the company because travel days were paid from when I left home. The shorter my journey, the cheaper it worked out for the company. Someone in the head office had looked at cutting down on travel costs, probably to make themselves look good and get promoted. As a result, I got an email after a week at home saying they had changed my normal flight, which was 5 p.m. on Sunday from my nearest UK airport, via Amsterdam, then on to Nairobi, connecting with a 9 a.m. flight to the war-torn country on Monday morning. The change was from a 5 p.m. departure to a 5 a.m. departure the same day, same route, and saving about £80. To clarify, the 9 a.m. flight from Nairobi was the first flight to war-torn country because the destination airport was the only surfaced runway in the country. It had had no runway lights or radar, so all flights had to be in daylight. Anyway, I agreed to the flight time change, but they had to move it to the Monday so I don't lose a day at home. All will become clear. They agreed because still saved £80 on the ticket, no skin off their nose. Once I got the flight confirmation, I contacted the travel desk asking for hotel and taxi bookings. When they asked why I need these, I explained that to make a 5 a.m. departure required a check-in at 3 a.m., so I needed a hotel at the airport on Sunday night because no trains were running to get me the 3 hours to the airport from home for that time of the morning. The flights they booked would get me into Nairobi for 7 p.m. after dark, so I'd need a hotel there and a taxi each way to and from the hotel to get me onto the 9 a.m. flight on Tuesday, the same flight I would have been on if I'd left at 5 p.m. but a day later. A couple of days go by and I got a phone call from the company travel desk telling me the travel plan was confirmed. I was on the 5 a.m. flight with a hotel reservation at my UK airport the night before, a hotel in Nairobi after landing, and the taxi would collect me in Nairobi and drop me at the airport for my final connection. I asked about the cost saving, they said £80. I then asked about the hotels and taxis. They replied, "Oh, they don't come out of our budget, that's the operations budget, so you're fine." I was happy. I was arriving back at work a day later, still paid the same amount with a night out in Nairobi to sweeten the deal. My boss, on the other hand, went nuts. Nobody had told him of the changes. My deputy flew out on the plane I flew in on, meaning I didn't get a handover of the work that was going on. On top of that, the cost for hotels, taxis, and extra days' pay had all come out of my boss's operational budget. I think the total amount added was almost £1,000, but hey, they save £80 on the flight cost. Want to lie about your natural hair color? Have fun with an awful dye job. My wife, 22F, and I, 22M, got my little sister, 12F, some semi-permanent red hair dye for Christmas. She really wanted it and was very excited to use it on herself and her cousins. The hair dye is bright red, assuming you're light blonde or bleached, but sis has dark brunette hair, so the dye becomes a dark burgundy on her. Everything that follows is what she told me. I wasn't there for any of it. Sis brought her hair dye to family Christmas at grandma's so she could share it with our plethora of cousins. One of our cousins, Anna 16F, is an entitled brat. She's awful and a compulsive liar and manipulator. I keep my audio recording app handy on my phone when I'm around her should I have to use it because I don't trust her. Anna asked Sis to have her hair dyed. Anna obviously has had her hair bleached to a medium light or light blonde. Sis asked Anna, "Is your hair bleached or dyed? If it is, then it's gonna turn out really bright and look crazy." Anna said, "No what haha, this is my natural hair color." This is where the malicious compliance comes in. Sis and my other cousins share a knowing look before getting to work. After they let the paste sit for a reasonable amount of time, they wash it out. Instead of pretty mauve accents like in Sis's hair, the back of Anna's hair looks like a bright, clowny, patchy mashup. Anna's response, I kid you not, was to look surprised and say, "Oh yeah, I did bleach my hair, I totally forgot this wasn't my natural color lol." At this moment Anna's mother came in and was not happy. Anna wanted to take even more dye from my sister to try to even out the clown hair she had given herself, but Anna's mom stood up for my sister and would let her take more. This dye is only semi-permanent, but it will still take 10 to 15 shampoos to be fully washed out. I only learned all this because I took my sister out on a breakfast date after New Year's. I was worried that Anna had bullied Sis into using as much hair dye as she did. When I asked about it, it turns out Sis just wanted to let Anna pay for her obvious lie and make her look outwardly like the clown she is inwardly. Stop fixing the photo printers during Christmas rush? Sure. Why not? To preface, I used to work in the photo lab of a very prevalent retail pharmacy. You know the one. I was good, fast, efficient, and always provided the most excellent customer service. Customers loved me. I adapted official procedures to make them better and improve the final product. And I fixed the photo printers. If you've worked in a 1-hour photo lab, you know that no one fixes those things. They jam constantly, overheat, never get replaced or updated. They'd break at least weekly, if not more. Same thing with the kiosks and receipt printers and POS system. It's a nightmare. I haven't worked there since 2017 and they finally updated the pin pads. 6 years later. Because the printers would break so often and I had experience fixing printers from when I worked at a school, I'd just whip out a screwdriver, open them up, and fix them myself. It was faster and easier than putting in a ticket, and it meant I could keep churning out orders during peak instead of being 1 to 2 printers down at all times. Now, shortly before the holidays, we got a new AM. He'd previously managed another store but had to step into a less stressful position due to a heart issue. The guy was a prick and created stress for himself. He treated team members like garbage, and most people were too afraid to stand up to him. I had a good working relationship with our GM, so I was not afraid of this guy, and he would often single me out because of it. At one point during Christmas rush, he caught me with my metaphorical pants down, screwdriver out and disassembling a printer that had suddenly stopped working. He chewed me out, told me to stop fixing the printer immediately and just put it in a ticket. If he caught me fixing a printer again, he'd have to take disciplinary action. Cue malicious compliance. I stopped fixing the printers and just put in tickets. In about a day, we were down to one functioning 4x6 printer that was overworked to hell and back. That printer almost caught fire while I was off shift because no one was able to unjam it. He never told me to stop fixing the printers again and left me alone the entire rest of the time I worked there. I ended up being wrongfully terminated due to an ADA leave for a major surgery when corporate never got my paperwork despite my PT faxing it over, and I found a better job that I love at a company I still work for. Prick manager ended up getting fired several months later for customer complaints. ETA, I see the act your wage comments, and, while I understand the concept, I would also rather have fixed the thing than had a line of 25 Karens screaming at me because their photos weren't ready in 1 hour. The GM and the other shift leads were aware I was fixing the printers, which never got replaced regardless how faulty they were, and it was only the AM that had a problem with it. It also wasn't chill time when the printers broke, as the AM in question would just yell at me for not doing my job if a couple of printers weren't fit to run. The guy was a nutter, and nothing anyone did was right. I never did report the wrongful termination because I didn't find out I was supposed to until many years later, and it was well outside the statute of limitations to take any legal action. From what I've heard, though, I'm not the only person it's happened to, and they're getting their comeuppance. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.